Forward, you guys put your hands together for Jake Kellner. Jake Kellner coming to the stage.
So, since I started working at my company about 5 years ago, my boss, Jason, has always been a bit of a mentor to me. He really took me under his wing, helped me build a reputation as a PowerPoint wizard, which is really only a flex if you're a consultant like me. But about 2 years ago, Jason's mom died. And then 3 months later, my mom also died. And I have to tell you, that was not what I fucking meant when I said I wanted to be just like Jason. After my mom died, my sister and I decided to watch every single Marvel movie and TV show because what else do we have to do, right? And as we're going through, I start to notice this pattern. Iron Man, parents murdered by Captain America's best friend. Captain America, orphan. Black Widow, orphan. Spider-Man, orphan, taken in by his aunt and uncle who are then murdered, so he's a double orphan. I'm not gonna leave Thor on this list though, because even though there's a whole plot point about Thor losing his mom, he was 1,500 when his mom died, okay? 1,500, and let me tell you, after 1,500 Passovers of your mom reminding you to get a haircut and saying that you absolutely must cut your fingernails because women don't find that attractive, believe me, you're ready for her to go. Anyway, one night after watching a Marvel movie, I come up from my basement, and what do I find except my grandparents watching the recording of my mom's funeral that had happened 3 days before. I thought that was so fucked up that I went and watched 30 movies about people with dead parents, so potato, like. I'm starting to get frustrated though, because if Marvel has taught me anything, it's that when you lose a parent young, you also become a superhero. And so I listened to this podcast called Grief is My Superpower, but I don't want to learn how to work on myself and grow. I would love to get bit by a radioactive spider and date Zendaya. Alternatively, I would love to get injected with super serum and become a 6-foot Nazi-punching god, which we actually really need in 2023. I don't need to stop the cycle of passing down generational trauma. Nobody fucking did that for me. And let me tell you, both of my grandfathers lost a parent before turning 25, so I'm kind of a trauma nepo baby. Except instead of getting a Tony for my breakout performance in Dear Evan Hansen, all I got was attachment issues, my mom's Cartier watch, and a 13-year-old Labradoodle with separation anxiety. And his separation anxiety is so bad that I haven't taken a shit with the door closed in 2 years, okay? That shit gets to you. What's interesting about losing a parent young, though, is that people always feel the need to ask me if my parents were still together. And I think it's because they want to know if they need to ask, you know, how's your dad doing, or if he got to stop making alimony payments. And they were happily together for 35 years. They met on a teen tour in the 80s. And so when people ultimately do ask me, you know, how's your dad doing, I always respond with, oh, you know, a little piece of him died that day, and I fucking hate that cliche, but here's the thing. My dad donated a kidney to my mom, so there's nothing that's more funny or more true. You know, before my mom died, I had one Jewish mom, and because she was a fucking rock star and had a million friends, sisters, aunts, all these things, I now have 12 Jewish moms, which somehow is worse than having none, because there is not enough time in the day to impress these 12 women. You just can't do it. And so I set this boundary with myself that I will only talk to 2 of them a day. Wishful fucking thinking. Let me demonstrate. A couple months ago, I'm on my way home from work, so I decided to call Deborah. And after talking to Deborah for about 10 minutes, I call Michelle, and I'm like, great, quota hit. No. So I'm on the phone with Michelle for about 10 minutes, and I get a call from who but Jill. And I go, Michelle, I have to go. And she goes, Jakey, is everything okay? And I said, no, I'm getting a call from Jill, and I bet you anything that Jill just spoke to Deborah and now is calling me because I am not on the phone with her, and she is going to yell at me and think that I am mad at her for not talking to her. And all I'm going to say is, Michelle, I know you're here, you owe me dinner. That's my time, thank you guys.